IBC, it's Rob here. Decided to do my vinyl tag video for 2019, so here goes. I've been enjoying watching everyone else do theirs, so I thought I'd jump in. First question, best buy of 2018. Picked this up for £1. First pressing, Elvis Costello, Miami's True, for £1. Couldn't believe it, single condition, couldn't leave it there. Big fan of Elvis Costello, so yeah, that's my best buy of last year. Shout outs to channels that have only got less than 100 subscribers. Well, there's a guy called Randall Weaver who's pretty new. He's only got, I think he's got less than 50 like me, and I kind of stumbled upon his channel. I saw him showing Rattlesnakes as an album that stood the test of time, and that's one of my favourite albums, so that caught my attention. And I went through his other videos and really enjoyed it, so yeah. And a guy who's just gone over 100 I think now, it's Sam, the Vinyl Douche. Loves his black vinyl, loves his beer, very laid back, probably, well, one of my favourite channels for sure. So yeah, Sam at the Vinyl Douche and Randy, yeah, great channels, check them out if you haven't checked them out already. Holes in your collection. I've got so many holes, I don't know where to start. I don't really have any jazz. I'm watching people's channels who do jazz, trying to get a few tips about stuff. Same with blues really. Don't really have much blues. So yeah, but reggae is something I've really got into recently, and that's really from the VC. Some of the channels I really like show a lot of reggae, and I've picked quite a lot of reggae up over the last 3 or 4 months, so yeah, reggae, I want to fill holes of reggae. Albums that you can pick up cheap, anything by Joe Jackson. Look Sharp, Jumping Jive, Stepping Out, anything really by Joe Jackson, Beat Crazy, you can pick them all up for about a £5, and they're all good albums, so yeah, Joe Jackson, great artist. Favourite side project? Yeah, this isn't an easy one, but I went with Griff Rhys and Hotel Shampoo. If you don't know who Griff Rhys is, he's the lead singer with a Welsh band called the Super Furry Animals, and they're one of my favourite bands. They must have done about a dozen albums now over the last 20 years. Very good band, and this is one of his solo albums, so yeah, great album, Griff Rhys. An artist who's done something that's different to their other stuff. I went for David Bowie and Let's Dance. You know, this brought Nile Rodgers in as the producer, and I've got a bit of a tale with David Bowie. 15 years ago I didn't really have any David Bowie albums, and I went to a market and there was a guy selling, he had a pile of David Bowie albums. He must have had 30, and he must have had about 50 singles, and I was looking through them. These are the days when people were just getting rid of the vinyl collections, so I'm looking through the collection and I'm thinking, which ones do I want? So the guy said, you know, I asked the guy how much certain albums were, and he just said, how much money have you got on you? And I said, £20, and he said, you can have them all. So I got David Bowie's entire collection for £20, which was insane really. And this is one of the albums, it's not one of my favourite David Bowie albums. I love the song Let's Dance, but that's about as far as it goes. So I don't really think this was very successful chart wise, but for me it wasn't really a good album. So David Bowie. Last album you bought in 2018, that was this one by a band from Northwich, which is about 25 miles north of Manchester. Well, no, actually it's south of Manchester. It's in Cheshire, and the band's the Charlatans. In the early 90s, we had, I don't know, in America you've maybe not heard of Manchester, so the Stone Roses, Happy Mondays, In Spiral Carpets, a lot of other bands became really successful in that period, and the Charlatans are one of those bands, and they're still going now. Tim Burgess has done quite a few solo albums, he's a great guy, and they're still a great band, so happy to pick this one up. Now, a good album with a poor cover. This music that's playing now is this album. The band's called The Weather Prophets, and it's a truly awful cover. However, I really like this album. I got it in '87, and in 1987 this was one of my favourite albums. They did a couple of other albums, but you know, they disbanded in the early 90s. But yeah, certainly not a good cover, but it's a great album, Mayflower. A bad album with a good cover. This was So Easy. I really like that cover by Split Enz. It's called Mental Notes. Now, I was aware of Split Enz, but I didn't realise they formed in 1976. So I picked this album up not long ago. But it's nothing like the Split Enz I remember in the early 80s. I Got You was a great track, and I remember they did quite a few good albums in the early 80s, but this is what Split Enz would have sounded like without New Wave, and it's simply awful. So yeah, if I could get £1 for this, I'd be happy. A blues artist, I've gone with this one, Otis Redding. Like I say, I don't really have a lot of blues. I know Otis Redding's kind of soul, but he does come under blues, so it's a double album. Big fan of Otis Redding, so yeah, Otis Redding. Earworm Song. Chosen this one. That's for the Australian watchers, but yeah, the B-52s and Rock Lobster. It was, and I remember buying the single in 1979, and I absolutely loved it then, and I still love it now. And it's one of those songs that annoys people, but it doesn't annoy me. The B-52s are a bit, you know, a bit Marmite. Some people love them, some people dislike them. You know, the song Love Shack, I really don't like that song, but Rock Lobster, I love it. So yeah, Earworm Song, Rock Lobster. Influential artist, I've gone for Bob Dylan. He's influenced so many singer-songwriters over the last 50 years, really. He's done some good albums, he's done some great albums, he's done some dodgy albums, but, you know, if you've been performing for as long as he has, you know, that's going to be the case. But yeah, Bob Dylan. Can't go wrong with Bob. I mean, in the late 70s, when I was like 16, 17, I just wouldn't listen to Bob Dylan. And my sister had, she had loads of Bob Dylan albums. But, you know, I just never even gave him a listen. It's only over the last 5-6 years, really, I've started to listen to Bob Dylan. But yeah, it's a big firm favourite of mine. So yeah, Bob Dylan. A record that you own through your parents. I've chose this one. Now it's funny that my channel's called Rob Walker Let the Music Play, and Let the Music Play is on this album. You know, my dad was from a different generation. You know, he had 78s, he liked Glenn Miller, James Last, you know, that kind of thing, Frank Sinatra. But he did have a few Barry White albums, so I don't know if there's something he weren't telling me, but yeah, Barry White. A double album. This is an easy one for me. The Jam, Snap. This album came out when the Jam split up in 1982, so yeah, it's got all the hits on it, plus some great album tracks. Jam were biggest band in Britain in the early 80s. 4 #1 singles, fantastic live band. Yeah, very sad when they split up, but Paul Weller's gone on to the Style Council and his solo career is incredible. So yeah, but for the time, amazing band, the Jam. Dollar bin find. Chose this one. Lady Hawk. Now, I go to a record fair quite often, and there's a guy at the record fair who he has sealed albums that are £1, you know, and a lot of them turn out to be blind buys, but they're really good albums. And this one, I actually knew Lady Hawk. She's kind of a bit Florence-y, singer-songwriter, very good. So really pleased to pick that up for £1. An artist that you got into through the VC, I've chosen this one. The Alan Parsons Project. James Griffiths pointed me in this direction. I was talking about them, I checked them out, thought, yeah, they sound interesting, bought this album. Is it interesting? Yeah. How many times have I played it? Once, but I'm going to go back to it because it was, you know, it was quite enjoyable, and I'll check more stuff out by them. So yeah, Alan Parsons Project. 10-inch single, chose this one. Amy Winehouse and Valerie. Big fan of Amy Winehouse. I used to DJ up until a few years ago, but I only played vinyl, and this used to fill the dance floor. So yeah, Amy Winehouse, great track, Valerie. 7-inch single, I've gone for this one. Beck and Loser. Saw Beck perform Top of the Pops early 90s. Yeah, who'd have thought he'd have had a career like he's had? He's one of my favourite American artists. Always different, always challenging, and always great. So yeah, Beck. And an album to fall asleep to, I've chose this one. Now, I wouldn't say I put Celia Down on and go to sleep, but you know, they're relaxing music, and they were the only band I could sort of think of that in my collection that would do that to me. So yeah, I find Celia Down one of my favourite bands, American bands certainly, and very relaxing music. So yeah, Celia Down. VC experiences. Well, I've only been on the VC for 2 or 3 weeks, so but all my experiences so far have been really positive. Lots of thumbs up, great comments. You know, been commenting with some really nice people, so I'm loving it, really enjoying it. And my advice to anybody is, you know, just show stuff that you love. People will find you. VC is full of lovely people. It's a great community. I'm really enjoying being part of it. So yeah, that's my vinyl tag for 2019. Hope you've enjoyed it. My name's Rob. Let the music play. Have a great weekend, and bye for now.